Before I start to discuss about the components of culture, let's identify first the two types of culture, which are the material cultures and non-material culture. When we say material culture, these are the society's physical objects, such as technology, buildings, transportation, and clothing. From the word physical, this can be the materials we can touch. And when we say non-material culture, it includes the beliefs, language, values, and symbols. First is the communication component. Symbols. The first element that exists in every culture is variety of symbols. A symbol is anything that is used to stand something else, and people who share a culture often attach a specific meaning to an object, gesture, sound, or images. Some symbols are actually types of nonverbal communication, and other symbols are in fact material objects. When we say symbol in sociological perspective, as long as a person or a people in the society can recognize the representational meaning, it is a symbol. Probably all societies have nonverbal symbols that we call gestures, such as movements of arms, hands, and other parts of the body. Nonverbal symbol was different in different culture. So we need also to be careful in doing gestures because it might have different meaning to other people. If they misinterpret what we mean, it can lead into trouble. Here are some examples of gestures. Language. Language is a system of words and symbols used to communicate with other people. It forms a core of culture. When people share a language, they share a condensed, very flexible set of symbols or meaning that makes communication possible. Language can be spoken or written. Language is the most important aspect of culture. Why? Because we use language to deliver or share our thoughts or ideas. We use language to convey meaning to communicate with other people. Language is the word spoken by people, but differences in language make quite difficult to communicate. For example, you travel in the country that you're not familiar with and you lost. The worst is you can't speak to their language and they don't know yours. You can't ask for help because you both have different languages. So before you travel, you need to research about this country, their culture or language they use. Second component, cognitive component. Ideas. Ideas are the mental presentations such as concepts, categories, metaphors that use to organize stimulus. They are the basic units out of which knowledge is constructed and a word emerges. When linked together and organized into large sets of systems, ideas become a knowledge. Meaning, when we say ideas, these are the constructed opinion in a particular topic or situation. It was the basic knowledge or plan that formulated that we want to put in action. Knowledge systematically summarizes and elaborates how we think, the words, looks, and acts. It is the storehouse where we accumulate representations, information, facts, and assumptions. Knowledge is, it elaborates the information that we found from the ideas we thought or we think. This is where we gather all the information, facts, or assumptions. Example of ideas and knowledge. You always believe that Earth is round because that's what your science teacher told you. And one of your friends told you that that's not true, that Earth is flat. So later on, you conducted a research and found out that Earth is flat. Next is beliefs. Beliefs accept a proposition, statement, description of fact as true. Acceptance uses criteria found in knowledge system provides by external authorities such as science, religion, government, rather than from personal or direct experiences. Meaning, beliefs are the ideas about what people think is true about the world. It was a personal judgment and probabilities or matters of faith. For example is, we always believe that God exists and other supreme being even though we never see them in person. Values, culturally defined as standards of desirability, goodness, and beauty and serve as basic guidelines for social being. They support beliefs or specific statements that people to be true. Values have varied to some degree by age, sex, race, ethnicity, religion, and social class. Meaning, what is considered good, considered bad, desirable, considered as proper and improper part of value system in society. They are using criteria to evaluate other people's actions. Example is a group of teenagers go to a club at the late hour and guy starts to evaluate those young teenagers because there's a certain behavior and a place and time for this teenager. They get judged because there is a certain values which are proper. It's not only them who will be judged but also their parents. Third is the behavioral component. Norms. Norms are rules and expectations by which a society guides the behavior of its member. These are the standards that define the obligatory and expected behaviors of people in various situations. Let's highlight the word rules and expectation by which a society guides the behavior of its member. Meaning, we have a specific appropriate behavior given range of social situation or in a social group. We have the guidelines to follow. There is a standards behavior by a society. Example, we are supposed to shake hands and smile when we meet someone or a stranger because we need to show our respect that we are glad to meet him or her. If we show our appropriate behavior, people around us will be comfortable. Types of norms. Mores. They are the customary behavior patterns or folkways which have taken on a moralistic value. Mores, meaning moral rules or ways of behavior that people in the society expected to follow. It is a maintaining decency. There are two types of mores, the positive mores and the negative mores. When we say positive mores or the thou shalt behavior, these are the social responsibility. For example is giving assistance to the poor and needy. It is our own decision to help other people in the ways that we can and helping other people without thinking something in return. And when we say negative mores or taboo or the thou shalt not behavior, it is the societal prohibition. Next is laws. Laws are the mores deemed so vital to dominant interests that they become translated into legal formations that even non-members of society are required to obey. Laws are made by legislator where it can be read or write. In the Philippines, we have the 1987 Constitution and the Republic Act to protect individuals. Laws can be our guidelines of what is right and wrong in terms of legal actions. Folkways. These are the behavior patterns of society which are organized and repetitive. Folkways are commonly known as customs, traditions, and conventions. Folkway. meaning you are following the habits given to you without questioning or giving much thought about the matter. Example is, you need to kiss the hand of your grandmother, grandfather, or anyone elder than you when they visited your house. Rituals. These are the highly scripted ceremonies or strips of interaction that follow a specific sequence of actions. From the word ceremonies, it was the action that performed for a religious ceremony, and every religion has different rituals and practices. For example, in funerals, they have the several ceremonies such as giving gifts, message, giving flowers, and others before burying the body. And the last one is the material component. It refers to the physical aspect of society, the objects made by human. It consists of concrete and tangible objects, items you can touch, taste, and feel. For example, are the tools, medicines, books, transportations, and technologies. And that are the components of culture.